Neal Schon just had some pretty harsh words about Steve Perry and their relationship. We're going to break it all down for you right here on this edition of the Steve Champagne Radio Show. Welcome back to the Steve Champagne Radio Show. Welcome back, I Love Music Army, Steve Perry fans, Journey fans, and new viewers to the channel. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Because we have some news about Neal Schon speaking out about Steve Perry, and what he had to say was, well, I'll let you decide. Now, as far as this journey, Steve Perry, Neal Schon, Jonathan Cain, Arnel's going to quit the band drama, I'm sure a lot of you out there have had enough, and I'm sure there's a lot of Steve Perry fans watching this video that are going, A, he's never coming back to Journey. B, why do we keep rehashing this? Well, we keep rehashing this because everybody keeps making statements, and there's a lot of drama and things going on. But I'm here to tell you today, I would love to hear what you have to say, or at least read it in the comment section down below, where I do read every single comment, and I invite you to join us in some great musical discussions and breaking news right here from one of the fastest growing music channels right on YouTube, where we talk about all things music and entertainment. And this is definitely an interesting statement from Neal Schon. Neal Schon recently did an interview where he talked about Steve Perry and their current relationship and the possibility of him coming back to Journey. Here's what he had to say. He said, "I hope that someday that we can get to the point where I can pick up the telephone and I can talk to him without talking through management and attorneys. I still don't quite realize why we just can't talk one-on-one for whatever reason, just to say hello, not to pressure anybody to do anything or anything like that. It wouldn't be like that. It would be in a friendly manner. I've reached out, wrote him an email, and I'm sure it's probably still in his email box because he did, reach back to me a while ago through email. I invited him to San Francisco Giants game because I knew that he was a fan and I was going to be there, and I thought it'd be cool just to catch up and hang out and watch a ball game, but I never heard anything back. So, I can't keep chasing something that's just not interested, in correlating with you. I think we've seen that he still wants to create, and more would be great. I was totally behind his Traces album. When he came out with his album, I thought there was some very good stuff on it. I'd like to see him create more." He had a lot more stuff that he put out there that I'm going to tell you about in just a second, directly aimed at Steve Perry. And first, let's just digest what we learned from this statement. We learned that something that I said 2 or 3 months ago was absolutely false, and I apologize for that. My sources told me that Neal Schon did visit Steve Perry at his home. But according to Neal, what he's saying here, that did not happen. But I know my people very well. They wouldn't lie to me. Maybe he did go there, and maybe he tried to visit Steve, but he just wasn't at home. I don't know. All I know is what I was told from my sources there. Maybe it happened about the time this Giants game was going on that he wanted to go to with Steve Perry. I can't answer that, but let's get back to what Neal Schon had to say directly aimed at Steve Perry, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. This is the quote that I believe is directly aimed at Steve. He said, "I'm always working on new material, and I have, quite a lot that I've compiled in this year that we've had off, and many ideas for a lot of new songs. We would need to get in a room and throw it around and see what happens with it. We get very inspired once we get in a room together and actually play. Anything could happen." He used the term we. Now, we means togetherness. And some people are just meant to write songs together. And there is no doubt that when Neal and Steve got in a room together, they created magic. And obviously, Neal wants to create that magic again. I don't understand why Steve won't talk to Neal. Obviously, there's something going on that's much deeper than we all know about. And either Neal's ego won't allow him to remember what has made Steve not talk to him. But maybe the statement that says, no pressure, can we just go to a ball game together? Can we just do something together and not talk about business? Maybe build a friendship back and then possibly, write some songs together. I think Steve should open up and maybe just hang with Neal for a little bit, but maybe they don't have anything in common to hang. Maybe it's not fun to hang with someone you don't have anything in common with. But we do know that Steve Perry has a record that's supposed to be coming out. I still haven't heard about this release date. I'm getting a little concerned. He didn't show up at Farm Aid. I thought he might make an appearance because of the Faithfully duet with Willie Nelson that all the proceeds went to Farm Aid. I thought that maybe with this new album coming out, he would like to show his face somewhere. He is Steve Perry. He doesn't have to make an appearance. If he does something, people are going to know about it. It's big news when Steve Perry speaks. It's kind of like that old commercial. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. When Steve Perry talks, people listen. There are rabid Steve Perry fans out there, and you may be one of them. That's why we invite you to join us. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about Neal Shon's statement. I don't think he's ever coming back with Journey. I used to think he might possibly do something with Journey, but I'm convinced absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt after he didn't show up to do this duet with Willie Nelson, he's never coming back, and he's not going to tour, and he's not going to sing publicly. He is not going to do this anymore, whether that's anxiety, fear he can't hit certain notes. If you look at the recent interviews or interviews that he's done, he does have a little bit of a complex, living up to the standard that he has already built. It's hard to do that. Some people walk away when they're at the top of their game. Steve Perry, I think, was one of them. In the meantime, hey, that's it for the Steve Champagne Radio Show. We look forward to talking to you soon. Drop that comment down there. Until then, we're out of here. Thanks for watching.